Written by Murphy here again, doing a book review. This is The Book of Forgiveness, written by Desmond Tutu and Mpho Tutu. Mpho Tutu is Desmond Tutu's daughter. The book was published in 2014, and it's a self-help book, and it is a book with exercises. It is a very weighty book. It took me a long time to finish because each story in it carried so much weight, and the exercises that it had in it were so useful. I could not take them lightly, and yet I had to go slow, and that's not my usual way of reading. Desmond Tutu was an archbishop, and he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984 because he was an archbishop in South Africa, and South Africa suffered very deeply in the policies of apartheid. I read The Long Walk to Freedom last year and really enjoyed the story of Nelson Mandela. Desmond Tutu had a different role to play, but a really important role. See, it's hard to even talk about. It's just so weighty. Just saying apartheid sounds like it's a very heavy word. It falls to the ground like a stone. Bad stuff happened. Everybody got wounded. And probably everybody dealt wounds. Everybody. How are they supposed to carry on after stopping apartheid? Stopping as best they could, right? So they created something called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to start reconciling and working together. That was something that impressed me in Nelson Mandela's autobiography, The Long Walk to Freedom. He wanted freedom for everybody. And it's not to say, these people are bad, they must be cast out and punished, and these people are the good people. We are all both. So, in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, they had a lot of practice. This is a pastor's job. The Archbishop Desmond Tutu had to help heal the people. His daughter, Mpho, is also a reverend. So she too had the pastoral urge. Okay. So what does that have to do with this book? They don't actually get that much into it in this book. This book is about the stories of people, very specific stories, really devastating stories. But they are stories that are tragedies that could have happened anywhere. They weren't specific to the scenario of apartheid. They were very meaningful, very challenging, and deep. The stories were astounding. They don't say, we need to forgive because everybody else needs us to forgive. They say each individual needs to forgive for that individual's sake. I need to forgive so that I will be better. And when I am better, everyone is lifted. Our societies need forgiveness. But it's really about the individual. It all begins and ends with the individual. Because they have been working on this and ministering, helping people, who are hurting and wounded, so wounded, they have some practical tips. It's not that long of a book. I mean, it's medium long, but even the length of the book is made longer because at the end there are exercises and meditations in every chapter. So there's a lot of really good materials in this. They bring up what they call the fourfold path. Telling the story, naming the hurt, granting forgiveness, and renewing or releasing the relationship. Not every relationship can be renewed, but for me to be healed, I could release it. That's not so easy. When I'm carrying a wound, it almost ties me to the person who did the injury. I can release it. Wow. These are some serious possibilities. Just 4. That's not even that much. Whoa. So they give instructions on how to do it. They even, let's see. There's these exercises. Now, I can't tell you everything because let me tell you, this is totally worth reading. It is worth listening and contemplating and thinking about forgiveness and what it means to me, to the people around me, to the world. Their exercises, they particularly say have a stone, a physical manifestation of what it is to carry the unforgiveness. And there's a lot of exercises that have to do with this stone. Because forgiveness and unforgiveness is such a non-physical thing, they find a physical thing with weight that I can use when I'm reading this to place these emotions and memories, feelings, all of it, into this real physical object. Wow. It's a really powerful book. There are 2 main narrators, Desmond himself and Mpho. They go back and forth a bit. And then there are the interpolated narrators, the narrators who will tell the story of the stories in the book. Because coming from a pastor's mindset, they have in the book, people tell the story of the forgiveness they needed to do, the forgiveness they needed to receive, all these different people, so many people. And they are compelling, weighty, serious, and very, very hopeful. It was a really hopeful book, and it was a hope not to be taken lightly. These authors, these experts know what they're talking about. I am feeling like right now in 2022, there are deep caverns separating each of us. Choices have been made, things have been said, judgments have been levied. And I really want to get connected with people right now. I'm going to have to be strong enough to withstand the judgments and the wounds that people will deal to me. And maybe, inevitably, I will do some to others. And I have to believe in the resilience and the ability to find a way to connect and rebuild connections, rebuild bonds between all of us who have been so separate. This is the kind of book that I will reread a lot. It's a really good one. That's what I have to say. It's worth it. It's worth it to find a way to connect with the people and to grow the love. So that's my review.